They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to say.
Hello everyone, welcome to Rich Bulletins Uncut. I have my lovely co-host here, Miss Arica.
Hey y'all.
And I have my lovely guest, Mr. E. How are you doing today?
How you doing? How y'all ladies doing tonight?
We're doing great. In yourself?
Looking great, looking great.
Thank you. So are you. So are you.
And then, of course, myself as the host, ArionMonay. Let's welcome E to Rich Bulletins Uncut today.
Woo!
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
So, I just want to hear about, pretty much what you want to talk to us about the African American community.
Yeah, I think a hot button topic. Lately with the suicide of Twitch and everything, I think it's the African American man and his mental health. I think that's not a topic that a lot of African American men like to talk about. Because growing up, you always was taught, you got to be hard, no crying, because nobody wanted you to be soft and all that. But I think we make an error in that decision, because now we getting a lot of, and I'm gonna just say men in general. We get a lot of men in general not opening up about their feelings, holding a lot of things inside. I had to learn that myself. Truthfully, I had to learn that to myself, and I had to learn not to portray that upon my son, growing up. So I think not only men, but I think as women, y'all need to help us with our emotional states.
I agree.
So do you feel like the man is not being checked on enough? Like, people aren't asking the man daily, like, how you doing? What's your mental state today? Is that what you're saying?
I think that has a lot to do with it as well. And but see, as a man too, we have to realize that you have to reach out. You got to talk to somebody. Even though, especially if you have a partner, you got to reach out to them and say, look, I'm not feeling okay today. It's all right for you to take a break. It's all right for you to say, listen, I'm not feeling like, the strongest person in this relationship. Help me.
Right.
And I think that's hard for a lot of men to do. Because you get a lot of labels on you. You're supposed to be the provider. You're supposed to be the head of the house and all that. And that's a lot.
I agree.
I feel like, sometimes men don't come out and say, hey, like you said, I feel weak today. I don't feel good today, or I got a lot going on. And I think that, they don't want to
Elevate, yeah. They hate when you elevate.
be portrayed as weak. You know what I mean? Or not the provider. All of those things, like you said, all of those labels. So,
right.
Do you think that it's not enough resources out here for the black male as far as psychology?
Fortunately, I think there is. But it's going to take us to step up more. Like now, at least in my generation, I think I'm a generation, X or whatever. We got everything in the world for health. We can join every gym. We can participate in every fad diet out there. But what we lack is mental health, and it's stuff out there. It's just that it's a stigmatism on it so much. If I ask for help, then I'm being weak. And I think that has to change. Just like you go to a doctor yearly for your physical, you should go to a mental health physician just the same.
Maybe the doctors should start asking those probing questions, like, what's your mental like, where are you today? Like, what's your mental status? Like, how are you feeling? Maybe they should start making that as an intervention when you come to do maybe like a physical or something.
Hey, it's a possibility. But then again, are we going to be truthful?
No.
Yeah.
it's always going to be that stigma. If I tell this doctor I'm not feeling good, or, you know, I don't want, you know, the guys in white coats to show up and lock me up, you know.
Right.
Seriously, you know, it's always been that stigmatism. You know, I don't want them to ship me off, lock me up, you know, give me a bunch of pills, and, you know, and I'm drooling the next day, you know, no reason at all. I mean, but we got to get over that stigmatism.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, here we are in the United States. Like I've been living abroad. Some countries, it's nothing for them to say, "Hey, I'm going to the psychiatrist today." You know, nobody jokes them. Nobody puts it out, you know, on social media. Oh, dude, think he's crazy. You know, like none of that. It's just a part of everyday life, and I think we got to get used to that.
Yes, I agree, and I would like to know because you did serve our country. Do you feel like while you were serving the country, was it hard for you to decipher from you being who you are and then serving the country?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It was difficult at times because here it is. I was in the military, you know, fighting for my country, but then you would come back and still getting treated like a second-class citizen.
Right.
And I come from a generation of people that served in the military. You know, from my grandfather, my father, both of my uncles, and it always was the same. You know, I had a father that served in Vietnam. I had a grandfather that served in World War II. I was in Desert Storm. So you come back, my brother, exactly. I'm not throw my brother in there, but you know, you come back. And you still have to deal with racism, you know, not fair housing, you know, stuff, things of that nature. So it does mess with you a lot because, you know, here you trying to be the ultimate patriot, you know, but you coming back to a country who really has maybe, you know, 60% love for you.
Right.
And it's all because of the color of your skin, not what you did, you know. Not your
Mm-hmm.
education level, not your social economic status, but just because of the color of your skin.
So do you feel like your mental state was affected from that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you know, me personally, I'm, you know, seeking help now, you know, so I get help, you know, and that's the thing. And I'm not worried about the stigmatism, you know, but I'm stronger than you know, I'll say for myself, I'm stronger than the average man. You know, so it doesn't matter. You can call me crazy, whatever, you know. But I'm do what's best for me and the people that surround me, you know. So yeah, but it does play a lot. And then while you're in the service, you don't get a lot of help like that, you know, because you don't, like I said, you don't want to be stigmatized.
Right.
So, and you definitely, you know, it affects how you're going to get promoted. It affects how you're going to get treated in the service, and it does.
Wow. That's sad. So how do you know the early signs of someone that needs mental help from a man's standpoint? Because you are a dad and you have a son that you're raising to be a man of your stature. So how do you have the conversation with your children about mental health?
Well, let me put this disclaimer out there. I'm not a psychiatrist or anything like that. But there are certain, I had a few little bit of training while in the military, training while in my current position. You see certain signs. People being lethargic, giving away stuff, talking like in the infinite, you know. You got to recognize, like, if somebody comes up to you and they start, you know, something that they used to do continuously, now all of a sudden they don't want to do it no more. Little things like that. You know, they could be reaching out. Them just, you know, closing in. You know, they used to be outgoing. Now all of a sudden, you know, they don't want to do this. They won't want to do certain activities. Little things like eating habits. You know, they even start to overeat or undereat.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta look at those. You gotta look at those signs. And then when they start talking in the absolute, like, I will, you know, this is gonna happen, or you will be better off. You know, little stuff like that. sometimes you look at it and you be like, but then you guys, well, why do you feel like that?
Elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah.
So what do you like express to your children? Like if you seen something like that, far as depression, what would you say?
Yeah, well, you talk to them and you try to, and like I told you, I'm not professional, so
Right.
you help them seek professional help. Sometimes it's not all about taking a bunch of meds. Sometimes it's just some people like to just vent.
Yeah.
They're not looking for a solution to their problem. They just want to talk about their problem to get it out.
Mm-hmm.
Some people already have the solution, but they just scared to test the water. Sometimes you can push them towards that.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Sometimes if you just sit and listen to a person, sometimes they'll figure it out on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Without you. But a lot of people, I think a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it too, when somebody tell me something, instead of me saying, okay, they just venting, I want to try to help them solve the problem. More pressure on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I always say sometimes people, like for me, I'm one of those people that like to vent because I already think that I got everything all figured out. Okay. Right. So I just go on my rant and I just need somebody to listen, and, that's what I have depression and anxiety. And I said, look, I need to get some help because things is changing with me. And right. I need to get some help. And I did seek a therapist. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And I don't care what nobody thinks because it's about my mental health and what makes me feel better because I wasn't feeling good, mentally.
Right.
I wasn't. So all of those
right.
things that you were sharing earlier, I have had. So,
yeah.
you have to, if you know that you got some issues and things changing in your life, you should seek.
Exactly.
You should.
And unfortunately, you start to lash out to the people that's closer around you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not always about attacking a stranger. You always, the person that's right there in front of you every day, telling you, hey, something is not, you start to lash out at them.
Yeah.
And
well, I do say this too, that we always hurt the people that's closest to us,
Right.
And I just think it's because they are closest to us and then they gonna understand and they may love us unconditionally. So that's probably why we do it.
And think we can roll with the punches.
Exactly. You should know me. That's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the type of person. Yeah, but if you constantly changing because your emotional state is not the same, then no, they don't recognize you. You're being told.
You know.
And it is hard to accept that. You think you're not changing, but somebody looking at you and they've been around you 24/7, like, oh yeah, you changing.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you're not getting enough sleep or you indulging too much, but something is there.
Right. I agree. And like a lot of people converting back to Twitch, like with him, he seemed like a happy-go-lucky person. His wife, from the articles that they have posted out, that his wife didn't know he was suffering with mental problems until later on in their marriage. And
right.
I feel as though as a Black man, it's hard for Black men to even acknowledge that they have something out of the abnormal, what they have been taught and told their whole life, like, oh, you shouldn't do that. And when someone say you shouldn't do that, it's like, wow, I've been doing this all this time. Mm-hmm. I think it affects the Black male more than the regular, if a woman was saying it to another woman, like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. I think you guys internalize it and keep going through it and keep going through it. Like, why should I not do it? And why should I not do it? And you guys never speak about it. So I definitely think that as a Black male, I don't think you guys have the open window to even discuss what's going on with y'all with anyone because of how the Black male was conditioned.
Yeah, because
y'all had no support. Y'all had no support system. Y'all don't.
We do, but like I said, you've been taught so much to not ask.
Yeah,
it's hard to ask, and I think a lot of times, and a lot of guys can attest to this. When I was growing up, the first thing my mother told me, you know. Basically, it was two things she said to me. You got 2 strikes against you, automatic in life.
Mm-hmm.
And to hear that at a young boy, you like, wow, why? You know, because you don't realize it. But she would tell me that first, you black.
Mm-hmm.
First, and then second, you're a male.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm like, okay, I can't change that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't change any of that. That's pressure. And I guarantee you, a lot of black men have heard that from either their mothers or their fathers.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I try not to duplicate.
I've heard people tell their sons that.
Yeah. And I tried not to duplicate that with my son, you know. It was hard because you want to tell him, you want to tell him about some of the snares and traps of him being a black man growing up in America. But I didn't never want to tell him like that, you know, because that's just piling on pressure, you know. And then, like I said, him coming up in his generation, it's totally different. I didn't have social media. We didn't get the internet until, I'm aging myself now, but we didn't get the internet. I was halfway done with my military career. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, now something gets posted on the internet now, it's there forever. Mm-hmm. You know, all they got to do is punch in your name and it comes up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it's a little different. It's a lot different now than it is. And I think we need to realize that as parents, as grandparents, as aunts, uncles, you know, your upbringing is not going to be the same. Mm-hmm. Period.
That's true.
You know, what we used to tell kids back in the day is not going to be the same.
So I want to know, how do you discuss with your wife when you are feeling down? Like, how do y'all have that conversation? Like, oh, babe, I'm not all the way together today. The elevator's not going to the top. Like, how do you have that discussion with her? I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't graduated to the point where I totally tell her everything. Mm-hmm. You know, because I don't. You know, it's still I'm still that stubborn alpha male. You know, right. I'm good. Nothing's wrong. I do. I'm just being honest. But we do have conversations from time to time, and and I let her know, I'm just not feeling good today. It's not that I'm physically sick. I just don't feel like it. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like going to the mall. I don't feel like going to, over her friend's house for drinks or whatever. I'm good, and she understands. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing. We got that understanding. I mean, it's times that she come home from work, she don't want to be bothered. I go downstairs, play with the dog, and, do about my business. Or go outside, smoke a cigar or something. I mean, so, it's giving each other space.
Balance.
Giving each other communication is good, but it's also giving each other time to be amongst themselves, even though you're in a relationship, whether it's a marriage or, whatever. You need that space.
Right. And it's good balance.
I
said it's good balance for y'all, from what I'm hearing.
It is. Yeah, definitely. It's good balance, and and like I said, I'm in a lot of stuff. I do a lot of community service, things of that nature, so it helps balance all that.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. What information can you provide to the youth about mental health?
We know you're not a professional. But
right.
What is
that disclaimer?
Well, for the black male growing up.
Find somebody you can trust. You can totally trust. It's not going to be necessarily somebody in your peer group. It could be somebody. It could be an older person. It doesn't have to be a family member. Because sometimes family members have a tendency to judge. So do friends. You need somebody that's going to let you bend their ear. Give you wise counsel without judging. That's the main thing.
I agree.
And it's kind of hard because you don't know who's trying to take advantage of you. That's another thing. That's why I say you definitely got to find somebody you trust. Mm-hmm. And then if you could open up to them, then you could tell your mother or your father or whoever's raising you, hey, listen, I need help.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, plain and simple. I need help.
I think that most people, period, don't want to seek help because of the judgment.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And we need, especially in our community, we need to take that off of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, I grew up with people, we used to like, you know, he's different, you know, he weird, you know what I mean? But,
right.
you know, when you grow up and you realize, oh man, that was wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you feel a little guilty about it. You like, oh man, you know, but that's, you know, that's how it is, you know, and I think we need to change that, you know.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I mean, we're getting there. I think it's getting better, a lot better, but, you know, we're not there yet. And I think once we can master, you know, then we can start to, you know, come together more.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So from your professional experience, Arica, how did you address mental health with your patients that you did come in the room and they hanging off the bed? Like, how did you address that?
Well, what I've always noticed about taking care of male patients is that, you know, like you said, you guys, y'all do not want to seem weak. Like that's a huge, huge, huge thing with you guys. But far as me, like if I see somebody that's, you know, in need of help, I would go talk to the social worker and say, hey, listen, Mr. So-and-so and room so-and-so, they need to talk to social work so they can get a psych eval.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And just be there for the patient. Like a lot of patients, like you said, they want you to talk. They want to talk and, you know,
mm-hmm.
and not just stand there and listen. I never let no patient know that I got 1 million patients and you talking me to death about, you know, your mental health because I have a big heart. So I'm a stand there and listen to you. So, and like you said, some people need somebody just to listen. Right. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You'd be surprised. You know, you'd be surprised. Somebody you see on the street and they talk to you, you know, and you just casually say, well, how you doing? And they go off. They literally tell you everything, you know, well, you know, I had this, had that. They reaching out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and if you just stop for a second and be like, okay, you know, even though you might be trying to get to your car, but you're like, wait a minute, something is going on. You know what I mean? First, your antennas go up. Is this person trying to set me up? But then you keep, and they just talking like, you know, they wanted somebody to ask them
that.
How are they doing?
Right. Mm-hmm. I agree.
You know,
so
especially like.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when you see an older person and you ask them that, they tell you, hey, yes. Check this out. I did this, you know, this. My knee, it rained last night. And they go into it. But they at that age where they not concerned about your judgment. You know, you ask them a question, hey, I'm going to give you the answer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, and, you know, I think all of us have to mature to that stage.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
I think I'm turning into the old person because if you ask me now, I'll be like, my finger hurt, my eye. Like I'm telling people because I am one of those people that used to keep everything bottled inside.
Yeah.
Everything. So now that I don't do nursing anymore, I'm free with my words now. I'm expressive.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And a lot of times, you know, like you was doing nursing. So if you was having a bad day, you didn't want to come to your patients who might be, you know, going through something and putting that weight on them. So you kept it inside. Yeah. You know, even in my profession, if I'm having a good day, I don't want to go to work, you know, and I'm like, okay, you know, these guys, you know, well, I'm a correctional case manager, just so everybody know. Mm-hmm. But you come there, you don't want to let them know that you having a good day because they looking at you like, man, you get to go home every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you still have to, even when you having a bad day, you feel like, you know, I don't want to come in there with this attitude because, you know, somebody's having a worse day than me.
Yep.
That's how.
And especially in the environment that you work in, like all of those people really need psychosocial help. They do, you know, and you being there with a great attitude that can help.
Yeah, like, you know, true story. I had a guy today and he was talking me to death and I'm trying to get through this paperwork. And he just was asking me all these little questions, but it's coming close to the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he doesn't have his family anymore.
Right.
You know, so he's feeling, you know, and I'm like, okay, you know, let me slow down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I caught it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he just asking me everything, just blah blah. You know, this. I'm looking at him like, man, why are you asking me all these questions? But, you know, I didn't say it.
Right.
I tried to calm down because body expression shows a lot too.
Okay.
So I tried to calm down my facial expression. I'm like, okay, why is he asking me all these questions? This normally don't do that.
Right.
But then when we got to the end, he was like, I appreciate you listening.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I'm just, you know, feeling some sort of way. I said, okay, all right. I said, well, you got to push on, man. Just keep pushing on. You know, you feeling some kind of way. Here, I gave him a number. Call, hit me up or email or something like that, and I holler at you.
That's good.
So, you know, I recognized it. You know?
Right. That's good because we get caught up in the hustle and bustle and what we doing, and then we're not.
Exactly.
You know, we can be very selfish beings. All of us. Everybody is selfish. I don't care what nobody say. Everybody's selfish.
Yeah.
And you know, you can
No
get
doubt.
caught up, like you said, into your paperwork, and meanwhile, this person is screaming out for help. And it's just him needing to talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good that you was able to recognize. So you maturing in that aspect, you know. So that's great.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. It's easy to recognize somebody else's trauma.
Yeah.
Now, see, where I need to show it is recognize my own.
Yeah.
Now, see, just like you said, everybody's selfish. Sometimes I think we need to be a little bit more selfish than what we are.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to tune out. You know, and just look internal and find out what's going on with you.
Right.
You know, sometimes you just don't need to be around people, you know, for whatever reason, you know, and get yourself together.
You got to heal.
Yeah.
Isolate to elevate. You got to heal. Sometimes it requires that isolation.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said,
you know, and people don't like it, but it's true. You need that. You need that.
Mm-hmm. Like you said earlier, like, you know, you could be lashing out on that family member that want to be there for you, you know? And if you're not isolating to get it together, like how you said that you and your wife go in separate rooms, or you tell her, hey, you go do your thing and I'm going to do my thing. You need that balance. You need that in your everyday life. You do.
Right.
Everybody does.
And the to it is, you know, don't take it personal. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Don't come back when I say I don't feel like being bothered. Don't come back at me, well, you ain't feel like being bothered, you know. No, you know, just give me.
Yes, sir.
You know, yeah, give me a second. You know, sometimes don't take it personal. You know, and I tell people a lot: stop wearing your feelings on your sleeve. Sometimes, you know, and that's hard to do for some people.
Yes.
It's hard to.
It's hard to do when you're in a relationship, because when you're in love with someone, you know, you always want that attention. Always, especially the lady. We want that attention from our husband, our mate. So, you know, it's kind of like you putting me down, or you rejecting me, you know. So women do not like rejection. I'm not saying the men do, but I'm just saying. So you may have to work on that a little bit, Mr. E, because you might need to explain it differently. Like, look, wifey, I really need some downtime for myself. Not no, I don't want to be bothered. Just say, look, I just need some downtime. I had a stressful day, because at that time you're expressing your emotions that you're internalizing from your day, or whatever you had going on. So you need to express that to your wife, like, babe, I'm tired. I can't process nothing else. No offense to you.
Exactly.
I love you, but I need some time for me right now.
Exactly. Because, you know, the worst thing you can do is come home and somebody be like, listen, I need to talk to you. You're like, oh, goodness. You know what I mean? Here, I done drove through an hour of traffic. Now I get in the house.
But work on listening more, please, because that will help your relationship. It really will. It will. Because I'm just saying, just think of it in another aspect. Like, if she tell you, like, hey, I don't feel like it or whatever, and you internalize that and you go do something that's not right. Say, for instance, you're not mature enough to handle that.
Right.
And she tell you, oh, I don't want to be bothered. You know, it's kind of like, it's rejection. It is. It is.
Yeah, and like nobody likes rejection, you know. But you know, you got to, you know, like you said, you got to be mature enough to be like, okay, no problem, you know, because I'm gonna have my time where I want to just, you know, leave me alone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you know,
it's
but
about
like
the verbiage. It's
helps,
about the verbiage. It's about the verbiage.
Also, I think that we need to concentrate more on, like you said, just, you know, just being selfish for a little bit. A lack of a better word, just being selfish towards ourselves.
Okay. So you saying like self-love? Is that what you mean?
Oh, no question about it. Whatever it goes, you know, whether it's a hobby. I teach, you know, I teach now too. So I tell people, you better get a hobby, you know, because you're going to come home from the job. You don't want to start, you know, drinking, smoking continuously, you know, making all these unhealthy choices. Get a hobby.
Yeah.
If it ain't no more than coming home, relaxing, reading a book for about an hour, you know, meditation works perfect, works good.
Yeah.
Journaling.
Yoga. Yeah, journaling. Oh my goodness. I started that not too long ago. Journaling, you know. So that works. Because it's amazing what you can write without saying. You can remember everything. You know. So yeah, that really works. I like the journaling, you know.
Well, as far as the journaling goes, all of that stuff that you have internalized, you're able to put it out on paper now.
Right. It helps to decompress.
Yes.
You know, that's the main thing. You can decompress.
Yeah.
Because I can write something on the paper and be done with it. You know,
it's like you're releasing.
Exactly. Yeah, I got it out.
Yeah.
I got it out. If I nobody been to, I can go to that journal. Boom, 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 boom. You know.
Right.
And it's funny, you know, because I would never think that I would do something like that. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this. You know what I mean? But you wind up doing it, you know, and then you feel good about it after the fact that you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one less argument that I got to worry about. You know what I mean? I done got it out. I'm good with it. I'm done. You know, I don't wash my hands up.
You're maturing in other aspects of your life.
Yeah, certainly.
That's all.
It took a while.
You growing up some more. That's all. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's a process though. Yeah, but you know, I appreciate it though, nonetheless though. You know, and it's something that it is, and it's something that hopefully, like, that's why I wanted to come on here and talk about it. You know, because if I reach one person, you know, they might think, man, I used to do that. You know what I mean? And they'll help. It'll help change their thoughts.
I agree, and thank you for coming as well. We do appreciate you. And
no.
As far as mental health,
have me back anytime.
We love it. We definitely gonna give you a ring a ding ding ding. Like, seriously, we don't be playing no games.
Yeah.
No, but for real, like when people come on the show and they have good morale, we love it. We love it because that's all it's about. It's about good energy for me.
It's for me. It's to give back to our community because we don't have a community. We don't have a shoulder to lean on. I always use this as a reference. I said Nike and Adidas, they both do the same thing. They both make athletic wear. And they make shoes. Tennis shoes. And their grandchildren hang out with each other. They're not worried about, oh, you do the same thing that I do. They have a community. So us as minorities, people of color, African Americans, Latinos, everybody that got pigment to their skin needs to have a foundation of a system that involves other people to know, like, yeah, I might look normal, but I got problems too.
I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah.
Right.
And that's super important because I suffer with depression and anxiety, and journaling helped me a lot. Like, it was bad to the point to where when I was in high school, I have gotten way better at that now, but when I was in high school, you could not give me a test. I would not take the test because I would just be so filled up with anxiety. I can't think, can't process anything. So I would be allotted to write a whole essay before the test, and then I would be able to think through my thoughts and answer these questions properly before that class is over, because I was all like, I can't do this. It could be 3 questions, and I'll be all like, I can't do this.
And she very smart. This girl is something else. But
yeah,
she has test anxiety. Like, if you give her a full sheet of paper, she can't. But she's not like that anymore. But when she was in school, she just could not. She would just be so overwhelmed. I don't know what that's about, but
like, college was a breeze. Okay, college was a breeze.
but
well, I can tell you what the big difference was. See, with high school is a little bit more structured.
okay,
You know what? You had somebody, like telling you, you got to be here, you got to do this, you got to read this chapter, you got to test, you're going to have this test, and you're going to take the test like this. Mm-hmm. When you get to college, it's totally different. They give you that syllabus, and they be like, okay, here's your syllabus.
You work. You either pass or
exactly.
Yeah. Class be over in 2 hours.
Right, and they don't keep going over. They don't keep telling you, did you read chapter such and such? No, they just give you that syllabus.
Yeah,
and it'll say week 1, read chapters 1 through 14. If you come back the second week and you haven't read 1 through 14, that's it. You're done. You. But yeah, and they moving on. But then, I think that teaches people, okay, I'm on my own. Mm-hmm. And I think that probably helped you, because now you're not forced structured. Okay, I got to read these chapters. Mm-hmm. Boom, I'll knock that out in 2 days.
Yes.
I'll come back to it before class. You look at the syllabus, okay, the next couple of chapters, okay. And then, some of them, if you got a good professor, they already tell you when you're going to take the test. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that sometimes some people can work out of structure. They need their own space. They think different. They learn different. And I think that's what helps, with people from college to high school. I mean, and some people it's totally different. Some people, they need that. Yeah. They need somebody to tell them, read chapter such and such and such and such, and they be the ones, they was smart as hell in high school, but they get to college, it's like, and then you got other distractions as well. The parties, they might have to work, things of that nature. So it plays a big major role.
I'm feeling myself, ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to my...
Arion wanted to go over the warning signs for depression in the man.
Not depression, mental health
issues. I'm sorry.
The lashing out.
Exhibit mental health issues in a person or in a male. I did pull up some information, some warning signs. The first 3 is anger, irritability, or aggressiveness. Mm-hmm. Would you like to read the other one? Mm-mm. No? Okay. Noticeable changes in mood, energy level, or appetite. Difficulty sleeping or sleeping too much. Mm-hmm. Difficulty concentrating, feeling restless or on edge. Let's see. Sadness or hopelessness, suicidal thoughts, abusing any drugs, increasing worries or feeling stress. And that's pretty much it.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough. I mean, definitely I see a lot of the lashing out, the being irritable all the time. I see a lot of that. Usually when it gets to the suicidal thoughts, I think they pass the sit down phase. You actually somebody needs to get them.
Yes.
Because it's one thing if somebody wants to commit suicide, you cannot stop them if they really want to do it. Now, they're going to give you a couple chances to tell you, the last shot, to tell you, hey, listen, I'm really thinking about, and you just got to pick up on it. And it's hard, because like it's so hard. But like in a controlled environment where I work at, it's kind of easy. If I say that, because you start to see guys, they start to, they used to be one way, then they different. They start to give away their belongings, commissary. They start to give away commissary. That's a dead sign, because nobody gives away their commissary unless they leaving. So,
right. And
exactly. This person is already planning. I ain't gonna have no need for it, and we've been trained to pick up on things like that, and when you see stuff like that, you automatically, you pull them up,
Yeah.
But it's kind of difficult in the outside world because I'm working, your partner's working or whatever. You don't recognize. It's kind of hard to recognize that sign. You busy, but they trying to pull your coattail and try to tell you, hey, I don't think I'm gonna see tomorrow. You like what? We gonna see tomorrow, because we gotta get this work. We gotta go to work,
Right.
That's a tall tale sign. And hopefully, like I have, like they give veterans this number that we can call, if we feel like we're in crises, so we don't have to call 911, and get shot up damn near because they don't recognize that you having a crisis instead of, assaulting somebody or them. They used to put the number out for the public. It used to be, some people still do. I see it sometimes, you might see it coming back now because somebody thinks they committed suicide. So you may start seeing more infomercials or commercials about it. But I think they need to put it out more often. Just like they used to put 911. Now that's beating in everybody's head. Anything goes on, I press 911, I can get somebody. It should be a national helpline for somebody
all the time.
Exactly. I get. I don't know what they could do. 611 or something. I know 311 is usually your local government, and 411 is information. But if they came up with a number like, I need to call this. I need 611. Instead of calling 911, because really who's going to show up? The cops. And a lot of cities don't have, they starting to implement it now, where they might send a mental health physician with the cops, but specific. If I call 911 right now and say I'm going through a crisis, they ain't gonna know what I'm talking about, or I feel like killing myself. Who's gonna show up? The cops. The cops and the fire truck. That's about it.
Yep. And maybe the ambulance.
Exactly. The fire truck to break in. And the cops to, to make sure I don't have a weapon. That's it. So it would be nice, it would be nice to have a number specifically for that, other than the 1-800, suicide hotline or whatever.
Right.
It should be something compatible to like a 911.
Yes.
It should be right on your phone, a default number. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Just like 911.
Exactly.
Right.
You talking to trained, then you get trained professionals, and they might could talk you down, or they can send somebody there that's trained, And I know it's dangerous because you're dealing with people that might be severe mental health. So I know that's why they, no disrespect to the law enforcement, but I know that's why they send them out there, because you could have a weapon, and you don't want that mental health physician, to lose their life. Getting harmed, trying to save somebody.
Why would I give it up? Why do they want to come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation. Now I got rollies.
I do recognize that, so I'm no disrespect to my law enforcement. I'm good. I got a lot of brothers in law enforcement. We good, but they, like I said, they get as much training as I get as far as mental.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I can recognize it, but my number one priority is protect me and the community first.
Right.
You know, but that mental health position should help.
Yes, I agree.
Maybe they should come with they should need to be a combo, like you said.
Well, a lot of cities are starting to adapt that because they recognize it's a problem, you know. But you know, it's always about the money, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
Therapist is not cheap, you know. And
specialty doctors cost some money.
Exactly.
It's $300 a session.
And that's another thing. See, that's another thing that keeps our community from going. You know? I mean, I think now it's gotten a little better. I think not too long ago, somebody was telling me about, and I heard the commercial for it. You can actually go online, get a physician, you know, it's a little cheaper. You know, they'll talk to you. You can pick who you want. And sometimes you can do it just like this, video conference. You don't even have to turn your screen on. You can just talk.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's you know, that's a little cheaper. You know, I'm not going to take away from it. I think everybody needs to sit down and actually, you know, talk to somebody. But
yes.
Like I was saying, that's high budget. Getting somebody like, you know, we all pay taxes. Getting somebody to say, I want my tax money to go towards that, you know, even though it might cost a little bit more, it's hard. It's a hard sell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
And a lot of people don't want to face themselves either. A lot of people don't.
Right.
Yeah.
And here in Maryland, a lot of our psychiatric hospitals are closed. So where are they getting flooded to? They were getting flooded to the streets, or they're coming to the institutions, unfortunately. You know, we seen that a lot. I mean, we deal with it. We get tons of people who got mental health issues. You know.
Oh yeah, that is right. That one up there in Garrison Forest. Remember, you was like, "Mom, what was that?" I was like, "That was the what's that hospital that closed down? The psych hospital up there in Owens Mills in the back road."
Oh, that they made the scary movie about that one.
Shepherd Pratt, was it Shepherd Pratt?
No, Shepherd Pratt is LGBMC.
Spring Grove.
Spring Grove. Yep.
Yep. Crownsville closed.
Yep.
You know, that's it.
Right.
And they were huge. So, you know, but they closed and they were state-run facilities. But the state felt like they couldn't run them no more. You know, you get lawsuits because you hire unprofessional people, you know, and it shuts you down. They start kicking out that money. It's time to, you know, they got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But see, when you growing up, you don't recognize it like that. When you get older and you start paying taxes, you be like, where's my money going at? You know, you start doing research on, you know, I've noticed that you start doing research, you know, where my taxes going at? What is going to? You know, who I need to vote for this year? You know?
Yeah.
So, but it, you know, it's just funny how, you know, how you just mature and matriculate through life, and you know, you got all these issues and, you know, things that I thought I would never have to worry about a day in my life.
Right.
You start paying attention when you get older too.
You start paying attention to a lot, especially every little penny that come out your pocket. You start paying attention to it. You know, my thing was, especially when who I'm gonna vote for, who am I putting in office, who gonna take this, you know, who gonna represent what I want. You know what I mean? And then all the time, it ain't because of who's the person with the same color skin as mine. You know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm out here trying to make smart decisions, smart choices for myself and the future generations.
Yes. Yeah.
So y'all can continue to bring content to the people like this.
Yeah. Because it's super
What made
important.
y'all come up with this, if y'all don't mind me asking the questions?
Would you like to answer? No, you're fine. We don't mind people asking.
She keep on putting me on the spot today. Well, I have some health issues. So, Arion I don't know if she was praying or journaling. She just woke up one day and was like, "Mom, I think we should create a podcast." I was like, "For what?" I was like, "Is it for you?" Like, you know, I just start picking her brain because this girl is full of stuff. So, meaning innovation. Like she's on it, you know. So I was like, well, you know, like, what do you want to do? What's your idea? You know, so she's like, I think that you need to be my co-host. I'm going to be the host. She had already, you know, she sold me the car. So I said, well, why are you creating this? And she said, it's for you, Mom. She said, because you can't do nursing no more. So let's try and help some people out. We love, you know, entrepreneurship. Let's help some entrepreneurs. And let's help some people, you know what I'm saying, come on the show and talk about healing or, you know, depression, things like that. So here we are.
There it is. Nothing wrong with it. Well, I'm glad y'all, you know, took it up, Miss Avion. I'm glad you came up with the program. I kept seeing it and I was like, damn, I need to check this out, you know, and I'm like, you know, I don't know what they're going to be talking about, but I wanted, you know, I like supporting y'all best I can.
Thank you.
Well, I hope that you are watching Rich Bulletins Uncut, sir.
Yeah, y'all, because y'all send me the text and I'll be like looking at it and I said, yeah, I'm going to go check.
Right. We did some football, everything.
Yeah.
I was like, what these ladies know about football, you know?
We trying.
Yeah. Taking it one day at a time.
One day at a time.
Y'all been keeping up with the games?
So let me just throw a little inkling in there.
She's the football person. I'm not.
Yes. So to let the world know, it's Purple Nation. Just stop by to let y'all know that.
Well, hold on. What Purple Nation though? Hold up.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
Wait a minute, you had all of this. The Baltimore Ravens.
Hey, be good.
You want to fight, but the Ravens.
Ain't nobody worried about them Vikings.
There you go. We
don't want them. I have been keeping up with football a little bit, not as much as I normally do, because that's something that me and my oldest brother share.
Okay.
We do that together. We watch football together and talk smack about people
on the game.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right. True fan here. True fan. I understand. Yeah. I'm down with it.
So I do have one more question for you, though, Mr. Everett. You had said earlier in the show when I said y'all don't have a support system, you said, yes, we do. So I want you to let the audience know what's the support system.
Well, first and foremost, somebody that knows what they're talking about, a licensed mental health physician. You know, that's the number one support system. Okay. Second, it like I said, and I'll go back to it. Got to be somebody that you trust. Somebody, like I said, and it's not always going to be a family member. It's not always going to be your significant other or spouse. You know, somebody that you could talk to and they won't judge you. You know, somebody you don't need in situations like that, you don't need a yes man. You need somebody that's going to actually tell you, hey, you know, you effing up. You know, let me talk to you. You know, that's a big thing. So, like I said, that support system is always there. Sometimes we don't want to hear it. Like I said, and sometimes we don't want to, you know, go to a licensed medical professional because, you know, we don't want that stigmatism. But, you know, like I said, when I mean that the support system is there, we just got to want to be a piece of it. Yeah. We got to ask. We got to open up our mouth. You know, I think, you know, we always heard the term closed mouth don't get fed. Well, that works all around. You know, if you keep your mouth closed, keep everything inside, you know, you're not going to get the help that you need.
I agree.
So her saying is what? What's your saying? Slow feed what?
Slow feed don't eat.
Hey.
So that's my saying. I feel like as the younger generation, like my generation, what do we call it? The millennials. I was about to say the Gen Zs, but I forgot that I'm an auntie. So, the millennials, I feel like some of us are open than a lot of the rest of the generation.
And people our age.
I agree. And even the Gen Zs, like I have seen younger kids like walking through the store and I can see them exhibiting some mental health issues, and their parents just be like, "Oh, that's fine. Jimmy does that all the time," and it's like, no, Jimmy is asking you for help right now.
Yeah.
Ask Jimmy what's wrong. Like, people give you nonverbal communication all the time.
All the time.
All the time about your elbow might hurt, and they just might be walking around like this all day.
Yeah, it's
like
nonverbal communication is real. But a lot of people, but what I was saying about the males, period, any race, to me, the man is looked at just mainly solely a lot of times as a provider
and a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all not supposed to have no problems.
Y'all not supposed to have no problems. That's what I was getting at. That's what I was when I said y'all don't have no support system. Mm-hmm. Y'all. I mean, both sides, because women can be in that scenario too. But the man has a lot of pressure.
They do.
Definitely. But and I see that, and I talked about that too earlier. But once again, we still got especially in this generation. Like we were, I think Generation X were raised by the baby boomers. Generation X is raising the Generation Zers, and the Generation Zers are bringing up the millennials. Now, I give millennials one thing: when millennials don't feel right about something, they don't do it. They stop.
Yep.
It's like, look, this ain't making no sense to me. I don't care how much it's paying. It's not worth the hassle. It's not worth my peace. I'm done.
Yeah, they don't be playing.
Yeah. I had to walk out of. Go ahead.
I'll definitely get that to millennials. Generation Z's will stick around for a little bit. Well, it's going to get better. It's going to possibly get better. Generation X, we just put our head down and keep going. That's our fault. But that's how we were taught.
That's how we was brought up.
Right. You put your head down, you keep going. The goal is up there.
Take it and go. Take it and go.
Yeah, keep going, And, but that's so, that generational thing is the truth, because I see millennials all the time. They come to work, they may work 2 years and they be like, you know what, this ain't for me, I'm gone. And you looking at them like, what? What you gonna do for a living? What about your bills? Oh, they'll get paid eventually. Boom, they done. They done.
You're right.
And I kind of admire that, even though I could never do it. I kind of admire it, because it's like, okay, all right. Had I have done that, I might have been, top of the world somewhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
So who knows? But I do like that. I do like that attitude, though.
Yes.
A little. Yes. Sometimes y'all can be quite arrogant, though. But
yes,
I like.
Yes.
It's a thin line between that confidence and that arrogance.
Yes. I say confidence and ego is a thin line between them. Confidence and ego.
Yeah.
I think I have all three. I'm sorry. I'm guilty of all three. Ego, confidence, and arrogance.
Yeah, you do. You do.
I know who I am.
Well, yeah, but like I said, with us, when we get a certain age, that's it. We not, it ain't gonna change. You accept it or you don't. We at that age.
Yeah.
But now, it's just not changing.
But the thing about me with the ego thing is, I never think that I'm better than anybody. Like when I say ego for me, it's more so like I'm very head driven. Like you can't penetrate my thoughts, my process. So if I'm stuck on something, that's it. That's my ego.
Okay. Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
I don't know what other people see, but and I probably don't even care, but I told you.
Yeah.
So anyway, we would like to thank you for coming to Rich Bulletins Uncut.
Yes.
Oh, please, I appreciate it. If it's something I can contribute, just hit me up again.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes, we loved having you.
Yes, it was a pleasure.
Love being here. Appreciate it. Y'all take it easy.
So right before you go, we got to do one thing.
Every
show, we have a takeaway. So any knowledge you want to give to the universe, the youth, any and everybody, the audience, everybody collectively give a takeaway. So what will be your takeaway for today?
My takeaway for today is just, all right, I got it. Here you go. There's a difference between education and knowledge, okay? Education is something that you can keep, you can get, but knowledge, when you turn that education into knowledge, that's when you give it out, you give it back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take, you know. Everything I learned, my experiences, you know, that educated me through life, I try to pass on as knowledge to other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So my takeaway would be, notice the warning signs. If somebody sounds like they're suicidal or just need somebody to talk to, we need to put our selfishness away and become selfless and listen to this person. You?
My takeaway will be communicate. Always open up about any and everything, how you feel. Openness is the key of learning who you are and acknowledging any health problems that you do have mentally, physically, and emotionally. So communicate, journal if you need to journal. If you need 20 minutes a day, I say 20 minutes a day to kirk out, do it. If you need to yell for 20 minutes, just do it. So you can get on with your life. So that's important from me. It's my takeaway.
All right, Miss Arion. Well, we thank you, Mr. E. You have a good evening. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining.
You do the same.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Love y'all.
All right, love you too.
Yeah. They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate.